Hi, my name is Erica Steeves, product stylist and commercial photographer. Today I am going to give you a peek behind the curtain and show you my creative process on how I start planning creative shoots. I have a shoot coming up later this week and I have been in collaboration with a client and we are starting to narrow in on the ideas that we want to focus on for this specific shoot. And I'm excited because this is something that I really feel is something that people don't understand how easy it is to come across this information and to find inspiration to really take your photography to the next level. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started on today, and I'm going to show you the tools and how I start doing planning for a creative shoot. Remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. A new video will be dropping every Tuesday where I take you behind the scenes on product styling and commercial photography, giving you tips and tricks on how to do it yourself. Okay, so let's get started on today's episode, and what I really want to focus on is the different tools that I use to search and find inspiration to do creative photography. Just to give you a rundown, the client that I'm working for, they have a sock line, and we are going to be creating massive amounts of content for them, essentially a year's worth of content in a matter of days. So some of the things that I do when I first initially talk with a client that you'll see in my onboarding process is I ask questions about where these images are going to live, what they're used for, how I can help serve them, what's their brand story, different things like this, and then I start doing my own research. I am using Pinterest right now to kind of get creative ideas flowing on still life photography and doing product styling. I usually will keep any project that I'm doing with a client in the private mode just to keep it secret and then like not share too much about what I'm working on until after the fact. But you guys are getting the secret, like peek behind the curtains, the raw, unedited images, like the information that I'm working on right now. So I have a board, and this is really something that I'm just like pulling any ideas that I can think of. I'm taking keywords in their product description, and I'm just typing in the search bar in Pinterest, different ideas. One of the things that they want to focus on with the socks is the sustainability and the durability. Finding ways to portray that in a still life image without being outdoors, without having models, can be really challenging. And sometimes you need to be able to fill in the copy or like give your copy editors prompts on how they can spin the information to be able to talk about it more. So one of the socks, it's made with recycled bottles. So we were thinking of doing a bottle story. Something else that I think is really interesting is just like finding photos that you find are inspiring or are really beautiful. This well bottle, obviously, it has nothing to do with socks, but I like the product placement, I like the contrast of color, and it's really on point with a lot of the story that we want to be telling. So you wouldn't necessarily wear socks on the beach, but you would wear socks, say hiking or something like this. So instead of sand, maybe I'm going to use dirt. And I like the leaf placement of the greenery against the product, really highlighting that. And this is the information I want to communicate with the client, is this is a way that you can take a reference image and spin it into your own story. So I am looking at the composition, the contrast, the design aesthetic of the image, and I'm really thinking about what I'm able to do in my facility and the studio and what I can create for them on their price point to make sure that the expectation of what I can deliver is in line with what they are expecting. And I think it's really important to keep their budget in mind and be conscientious of this and know your worth and know what you're able to produce. So these are just some just some things that I'm saying off the cuff, but I truly, truly believe it. So another image that I find really interesting is I love this one where the branches and things like this are coming out of socks. the client doesn't have a budget at this time to do model photography, like have a model on set where they're going to be wearing the socks. So we need to come up with creative ideas to be able to fill the socks to give them a form, but also to be relatable and be interesting. So instead of doing these flowers, maybe I'm going to be doing sticks and leaves and different natural items like this that I think could be really, really interesting and really play into that bigger story that we're trying to create. Two of the images that we're going to be creating for this client is flat lays, where everything is just going to be like more two-dimensional. But then we're also going to be doing still life, where things are going to be, you're going to be looking at it straight on. And to get that dimension and depth, I think playing with it on a form could be really interesting. So I was just like even pulling images like this just to have it in my back pocket as ideas. I like the idea for the flat lay of just composing the socks in really pretty ways. You can see here also like it's really a flat lay, and it's just like the socks are folded, and you can see all the different kind of colorways that are being offered for that product. You need to think of like the longevity. So these kind of images that you're doing, like that would be like this, are really like evergreen content. And evergreen content for your client is key in the way that they don't have to keep changing it out seasonally, but it can be something that they can put on a newsletter or welcome sequence, and it can live there for a really long time. They don't have to worry about changing it. They can use it in their marketing on things that are going to be going out at all times of the year. It's not season specific. So when you can create imagery that is evergreen for your clients, I think it's a huge opportunity for them to see the value in what you do. They have a kids line, they have like a hiking, sustainability, they have like the recycling story that they want to talk about, and they have like the work sock and so much more. So you can see how it can get really overwhelming. And what you can do if you do have larger products like this is you can start breaking them down into more bite-sized pieces. And I like to collect all of my imagery together in a shot list, which I use in Google Sheets. I like that it's free and that I'm able to share with the client, and it's a live document, so we don't have to keep sending new updated versions of it. And it's a place where we can just like collect all the information and really like narrow in the focus and hammer out the details. So this is a live document. It is in process still. Things are changing on the fly, but you can use the one that I have in the onboarding process below, the shot list, as a template to create something similar for yourself like this. I have a front page where I do an overview with the client notes, any relative links for things that I need to reference online, whether it be competitors or other listings that are similar that they want to mirror aspects of any information that's being linked by the internet. I'm creating a database of all of the links that for easy access. I have my image count here and the priority list, which is reflected here. So something that you can do when you're working with clients is when they give you information, mirror back that same information to them so that they see that you understand what you're asking them to do. So something that I did with this is they gave me this long list of things that they want to do, and then I took that information and I made it my own by putting it in this shot list and start breaking it down. And that helped me see if I had any further questions, anything that was being missed, and really helped me be in control of this photo shoot. So another thing that I have here is when I was looking at the competitors, I was doing some screenshots of things that their competitors were doing. I also took screenshots of the Pinterest board that I had just showed you. And in this Pinterest board, I think it's really interesting because I'm able to just like communicate with the client that I am doing work, that I am kind of building ideas, things that they might not have thought of, but I'm helping, like I'm making them also do this practice as well. And I'm asking them to share their reference images with me. And it's just like when you show them your own idea of like where you want to see this this project going, it can create like extremes. So either the client, like when you ask for feedback on your reference images, they either love it, they're neutral, or they hate it. And sometimes I like pushing the boundaries when I'm showing these reference images so that I can see where they land and how much they want to push this shoot, how creative they are, like what is their creative capacity, are they able to like imagine where this could go, like what is the information that they're giving me. I'm trying to listen and understand, and I'm like being very subjective. Like I'm not like emotionally attached to any of this information. I really am just being curious and listening to them and gathering information so that I can do my job better. There was some things on the Pinterest board that they didn't quite understand, and it wasn't like right away they could say no, and that is something that it was like able to start the conversation to tell me like, okay, like stay away from this, but oh, you liked this one, let's do more of that. So this I think is really important when you do pull reference images, is have like a do something more extreme, more neutral of where you think they'd like to go, and then do things that maybe that like they weren't expecting, and see where they land, because you never know where that might take you. Are you loving this content? Remember to drop me a comment below and share your ideas, or if you have any other input that you would like to share. I love to see your feedback, and let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. On my shot list, I have different tabs at the bottom, and when I look at these different tabs, I have the priority one, and then I take these reference images and I start placing them with shot numbers, and I'm going to be laying out which products I'm going to be putting in those shots. So on the day of the shoot, I'm going to be so organized. I'm going to come in with my game plan, and we're just going to be able to hit it out of the park. So after we fill in the shot list, the next thing that I do is I create a shopping list for myself and the client. And it's really going to break down the things that I need to be able to create an image similar to this. So we have different wood backgrounds at the studio. For instance, I have a bunch of maps as props. I have some vintage cameras, and we have other cameras around the studio. So I'm going to pull these, but things that are very specific to the brand, like a hiking jacket, hiking boots, a hiking book bag, specific water bottles, compasses, things like this, because they are like a sock company, they have certain brands that they want to align themselves with, or that they want to be on par with. And to be able to project yourself in this way, sometimes they need to have specific props in the photo that would be relatable to that customer. So somebody that is already shopping at like LL Bean or MEC or different things like this, having those style of props in the photo is not necessarily showing the mark, but like say like a Hudson blanket, like this is an iconic thing that anybody can see. You don't have to see that the label on it to know that it's a Hudson blanket, but just by the colors and the style of blanket. And this is one of the things that they had asked to source for a prop, is they wanted like a Canadian themed one that was like iconic Canadian items in the photo, that you could see right away that this was a Canadian based company. And I think that's really interesting, and you have a huge opportunity to be able to really understand the brand and be able to source props that make sense. So with a sustainable brand, I would maybe stay away from using reusable, like a non-reusable plastics, or like plastic straws or plastic utensils. You'd want to use like metal forks or metal straws, or things, or reusable hiking bags and things like this that show somebody that is more conscious of the environment and shows that they are a conscious consumer. So these different things you want to reflect. Sometimes it doesn't have to be so serious. It can really just be like a pretty photo. And this is kind of like what we were pulling down here is for their plush socks that people wear more as slippers, and they're targeting more towards women. So you can see here that we have like, these are obviously socks on a person, but I think you can also have the same idea where the socks are being shown in the photo, and it is on a bed with coffee and books and different things like this to give that same vibe that somebody was like just about to put them on. And this is the kind of stuff that you can do with still life photography, is set up still life scenes to look like somebody is just arriving or just left the scene. And it can be really beautiful and tell the story and have life in it without actually having a person in it. So yeah, that's just a little bit behind the scenes of what I'm working on right now. So I think that when you have an opportunity to work with a client and really start positioning your photography and showing them what you can do with their brand, and giving them some advice, especially if they don't have their brand vision kind of figured out yet, creating a Pinterest board is hugely helpful in just like brainstorming ideas. And then once you have the ideas, I recommend bringing them into a Google Sheet like I showed you, where you are further breaking down your shot list and really just like start hammering out the details. So I hope that this video was really helpful for you, and that it just kind of gave you a little inside peek, or maybe that missing link that would help you in creating a shot list for your next photo shoot. Anyway, if you try this, I would love to hear it. Give me a comment below, and let's carry on the conversation about how you can create really viable like tools for yourself to help communicate with your clients so that you can do your job even better. Do you want to know even more about my whole workflow of how I onboard new clients to set up photo shoots to be a success? Grab my onboarding process below, where I take you A to Z, my entire process from the first communication with a new client all the way to working on building a shot list and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Grab free email templates, a script, my shot list, and everything in the link below. Did you love today's video? Remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. A new video will be launching every Tuesday, where I show you different aspects and take you behind the scenes as I do product styling and commercial photography. There is so many more resources on my channel. Go check out some more videos. You can see and select the next video here.